is it just one way still?
One
Oh, there we
way.
go. Hi, Mary.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Actioning is brought to you by Sokoloff Law. Mesothelioma victims, call now. $30 billion in trust money has been set aside. You may be entitled.
All right, we'll just mute everybody. Am I able to be co-host, Kaiser, so that I
Yeah,
can
you
mute
can make
people
it
if needed? Yeah, just in case. There's Miss Sydney. Hi.
You are co-host now.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna go and mute a few people. Some people don't have. So, mute. Let's see. All right. And Barbara's here too. Yay. Allison, Gordon. Awesome. I'm probably missing some people. All right. Hello, everybody. Some of you, well, I think most of you know me, but my name is Megan. I am not Julie. I am going to be subbing for Julie today. She is away. So today there isn't really a huge theme. I don't know if Julie does themes with you, but when I used to teach this class on the reg, I used to have a theme. Today's just going to be a little bit of everything. But we're going to be definitely focusing and hitting strength in the core. We're going to be working on some mobility of the spine. We're going to be actually strengthening our balance system today and cardio. So we're going to hit a little bit of everything. So just a mix mash of stuff. So to get started, if you're, there's still some people coming in. So if you just came in, just go ahead and put yourself on mute if you can. The equipment we'll need today is a dowel. So if you don't have a dowel, you can use like an umbrella or a broomstick or anything like that. A cane works really well. We are going to be using a band, probably a lighter band because we're going to be doing some rotator cuff work with this. So just probably a bit lighter. If you have a set of bands, just have them nearby. Okay. You don't have to have a bender ball. If you have one, great, pull it out. This can also be a yoga block. This can be a stuffed animal. This can be a water bottle, just something light because we're going to be doing some just like passing from one hand to one hand. So just something that's comfortable to hold. Okay. If you have any like grip issues or anything like that, maybe not something slippery, make sure that it has a nice grip on it. We're going to be using something lightweight. So if you have a dumbbell, go ahead and grab that. I wouldn't use anything more than like a 3 pound. So a pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds, you can use a soup can, water bottle that's been filled up, anything like that, just something light. We only need one. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get started. We're going to start by doing some just warming up the muscles, getting a bit of mobility going. I like to get right into our low back here. So I'm just turning so everybody can see. We're just going to use our knuckles really gently. And we're just going to go to the very base of our spine, right above our pelvis. And we're just going to be doing some like light, I shouldn't say light, some pressure, but small little circles just to start kind of warming up that lumbar and getting a bit of movement. We can be really tight sometimes back here, especially if we're seated a lot of the day. So just make sure you have enough space behind you if you're sitting in like a scooter or a chair that you can bring your hands behind the chair. And we're just going to do some little circles. So you might feel 2 little dimples like right at the bottom of the right at the pelvis there. So you can kind of work above that and just kind of work your way in towards the spine and then kind of going back out towards the outsides. If this doesn't feel good on a shoulder, or maybe for whatever reason we can't get both hands, just do one hand. No big deal. Just work one at a time and then you can always switch. Okay, so about another like 20 seconds here. This is also a good way to warm up our erector spinae for some hinging.
Good for you. You did it. Thank you.
And we'll just make sure everybody's muted here. I think we mute. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We have a few dragon boaters in here today. So we're going to be working on our hinge today and some kayaking. All right, so now we're going to go into pecs. So the pec muscle can be right, it's usually above the chest. So if you have breast tissue, you just want to go above that. So just relax that side arm, and we're just going to palpate with our fingers, and you can use a knuckle as well. But if you have pretty good sensation or strength in the fingers, go ahead and just kind of feel, starting right out at that armpit, and you can just kind of get in and start to feel, is there any tension in here? And most times we're going to have quite a bit of tension in here. So this can help us with positioning of the shoulder. If we get these a little bit more warm, we're able to get a little bit more range in the shoulders when we bring our arms open. And that's going to translate into a lot of our pulling exercises. So just working in here, just small little circles. We don't want to do too much where we're like hurting ourselves, but you definitely want to add a little bit of pressure here. If you have any shoulder pain or you find that you are limited in your range, this is a really good one to do on the daily. And once you're done, that will do the same thing to the other side. So just working right at that armpit level. Okay, circles. Just notice too, if you have a little bit more tightness on one side than the other, you may also not at all, might feel the same. Okay, another 20 seconds or so. And finishing that up. Good. Okay. So let's get into some cat cows. I'm going to cue this a little different than I have in the past. We're going to be focusing on a bit of vision today, and that is another way to improve our balance system. So when we do our cat cow, we can do them seated, obviously. So I want you to tuck your chin as the first movement. But when we do that, I actually want you to look with your eyes like you're going to look down your shirt. So as you tuck the chin, you're going to look, have the eyes open, look, and then I want that to move your spine. So you're looking as far as you can, and that's going to bring us into that rounded position. Okay, now to come up, I want you to slowly move your eyes to look up to the ceiling. So eyes are going to look up, and then that moves our spine the other way. Bring your hands behind you. You might need to look at me for the first one if you haven't done this before. And reach that heart to the ceiling. Our eyes are still looking up as much as we can. Might feel really weird because we don't really ever intentionally use our gaze this strongly. Okay, and now we're going to move, eyeballs go down first. So we're going to look down our shirt, that moves our head, and then we round the spine. Keep looking down the shirt, big round, all the way down. And now you're going to look up, so eyeballs go up. So look up to the ceiling, and that's going to lead your head all the way up, eyes still up. Make sure you're breathing, and then we do that again. So looking down your shirt, so eyes look down. Keep looking down as you round your spine. You might almost don't even need to think about it sometimes. Your spine will follow your eyes. And now we look up, so eyeballs look up. Up, 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 up. Coming in, hands at your sides or behind you. Get some weight into those hands. Lift that chest and heart to the ceiling. And we're going to do one more together. So look down your shirt. Eyes lead the movement of the body. Coming all the way down. This is your last one. We're going to end on extension. Okay, eyes up last time. Eyes up. Exposing your throat here. Looking up as far as you can, even though your head is up, we're still trying to look up and behind our head. And then bringing it back to center. Good. Okay, one more to warm up the eyes. So typically I would do figure eights, but it's a bit challenging. So we're just going to do some diagonal darts. So you're going to bring a hand out in front of you. If that doesn't work for you, you can follow my hand because I'm going to be doing it as well. So you can look at my thumb. Or you can look at your own because sometimes it's easier when it's closer. But we're going to look at our own thumb, and then you're going to keep your head nice and still. And I want you to follow the thumb with your eyes only. And you're going to go out to the side and then come back. And this looks really easy. It actually really isn't. And if you feel that your head might be moving, go ahead and just pin your chin to your chest. So you can just keep your hand, I'm just like this so that I can keep my head still. And then I'm going to do this here. So we're trying to keep your eyeballs and your focus right on that thumb and not letting it skip around and not letting the head move. So just take about 4. I'll do the full 4 here in case anybody's following my finger. Try and increase your range if you can, if you feel like you've got it. Your head isn't moving. Try and get that thumb a little more out to the side. Woo. I'll do 1 more for anybody that started a bit late. And then bring it in. Okay, good. Shake that out if you were using your arms. Other side. So we're going to tuck, chin, lock. I'm just bringing a hand here, finger here, so that I don't do this. Okay, looking at my thumb, or you can look at your own. And now we're going to go dart out to the side. So eyes only moving, and you're only taking the thumb out as far as you can keep your eyes on it. So if you take it way too far out and it goes out of your line of view, then that's too challenging for us. We need to keep it where your eyes can like honestly track the thumb the whole time. And just notice if you have more room on one side to go to the side than the other. Like maybe on the right, you went a bit further, maybe not. We typically have a side that's better. Okay. This is 4, but I'll do 5 for those of you. Oh, I cheated there. I definitely didn't track that one. Okay, last one. And bring it in. Good. Just take notice how that feels. Sometimes we get one side that wants to skip everywhere. And that's a really good one that you can practice on your own, because what that can do now is as we practice our rotation, we're going to tap over our shoulder and we're going to look over our shoulder. We can sometimes get more range when we've warmed our eyes up, our visual. It increases our visual, the span of our vision, I should say, the visual field. So rotating, tap, other side. Good. Using your eyes, so make sure you're truly looking over your shoulder. We're not just here. We want to look, really take the eyes and look over your shoulder to get full rotation. And this is really important too, especially if you do play a sport where you're rotating a lot, hint, hint, dragon boaters, because sometimes our vision can decrease the ability to rotate. So if we can open up that visual field, there can be, it can help us quite a bit. Okay, rotating. Do about 4 more here. Make sure there's no little wiggles in the hips. So we're just rotating from the spine. So I shouldn't see any of this going on. Okay, now we're going to do a side bend. So hand is going to go to the ceiling. Let's stay on that theme and go ahead and look up. And then come back, other side. Feel free to put the bottom arm if you want. You can put it on your armrest on a couch, or if you want more trunk, you can just hang it. That'll give you a bit more trunk challenge. Okay. If you have pain-free, or sorry, if you don't have pain-free range, and these reaches aren't feeling good, you can always just do a side bend and just stretch that side here, and then you don't need to lift your arm. Okay. I'll try and give some progressions and regressions for everything today, for everybody. And up, last 2. Okay, shoulder rolls. So we're going to do 1 only at a time. So we're going to go right shoulder or left, whatever you want to do. And 2, good. And 3, think of touching your earlobe with your arm. And I don't want to see this. Sometimes we get a bit of that chicken arm going. So just pretend like you have 1,000-pound weight in your hand, and we can't actually lift the arm. We're just working that shoulder. And you might be surprised at how different that feels, because sometimes we tend to not use the full range of that shoulder, but we start to lift with the rest of the arm. Okay, and now other way. So really trying to touch that earlobe. And 3. And 5. 6. 7, almost there. 8. 9. And 10. Good, other side. So other shoulder, go ahead and bring it forward. I like to start forward first so that we encourage that nice posture to end with. And 4, 5, good. Last 2 here. And reversing it, nice, last 10. Keeping that arm nice and hanging at your side. 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9. And this is 10. Good. Okay, neck roll. We're just going to think of moving with our nose. So we're going to make a semicircle shape with our nose. So we're going to go side, tuck the chin, semicircle, and then end over to the side. Semicircle and over, and semicircle and over. Nice. We're halfway. And 6. Two more. And relax. Good. Awesome. Okay, we're going to get into some rotator cuff work. So grab your light band if you have it. If you have any shoulder stuff going on and it doesn't feel good to do band work, you can do the same exercise without a band, and you can just do the movement that we're doing. Okay. So stage 1 is just going to be palms up, elbows in. I want to see a nice wide collarbone. Okay. So what I mean by that is I don't want to see this. So think our collarbone is right here, right? It runs right along. So let's make that as wide as we can. Make it like as wide as the room you're in. And we want to think of getting a little bit taller. Think of that chin tucking slightly. Palms are up. And I want to think of that blueberry. So we have that little blueberry between our shoulder blades. Most of you that have worked with me for a while know what I'm talking about. So you have that little blueberry in between those shoulders. And we're going to think of breaking the band in half by squeezing the blueberry that's in between the shoulder blades. Okay. And we open, squeeze the blueberry. So even though I'm moving my arms, I want our focus to be right here. Okay. So that's what leads the movement. So we're squeezing shoulder blades. And then when you do that, you'll notice that your arms will automatically move. They'll open up for you. 5. Okay, 6, nice and tall. 7, we're just going to do 10 today. 8, 9, and that's 10, and then release. Good. Just set the band on your thighs. We're going to come back to it. We're going to do a little bit of more of a rotator cuff exercise. So if you have overhead pain, I'll tell you when to stop. Otherwise, everybody's going to go 1, 2. If you have overhead pain, just freeze here. If not, you're going to do an angel. And then we're all going to meet back here, reverse it, and then elbows in, reverse it. Okay. So it's 1, 2. Some of us might stop here and just hold. 3. Bring it down. 4. Everybody meets up at 5. And then 6. Okay, nice. Again, 1. Open it up. 2. Take it overhead if you can. 3, otherwise you're holding. Bring it down. 5, and then 6. And again, 1. This is 2. Take it up. 3, 4, nice. 5, and 6. And again, 1, 2. Hold it here if you need to. 3. Think of really opening those arms. 5, and 6. Last 4. This is 1. And 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. If you feel like you have tension going on in the neck when you do this part right here, try gently placing your tongue on the roof of your mouth. So like that, just go with your mouth with your mouth closed, but just have it gently pressing on the roof of your tongue, on the roof of your mouth, I'm sorry, while you do this. And that can help relax some of those neck muscles. We shouldn't feel a whole lot of tension in the neck. 2 more. And last one, very nice. 1, 2, hold it here if you need to. 3, 4, 5, and then relax. Good. Shake out those shoulders. Awesome. All right, one more round of these external shoulder rotations, and then we're going to go into some circuits with some hinges. 3, thinking of the blueberry. 2 and 1. We open up, think of that shoulder blade squeeze and release. 2, 3, 4. Good. We're just doing 10. Remember, you can do this without a band as well. And 9, 10, and release. Good. Awesome. Okay, let's set the band aside. So we're going to learn some hinges. This is familiar to a lot of us, I think. There's a few ways we can do hinges, and I'm only turning sideways a little bit just so that people can see what I'm doing. I'm going to give 3 variations today. So actually, stage 1 is with no dowel. This would be if you feel like you don't have a lot of control with keeping a nice long spine. So the hinge position is ultimately going to be almost like you're bowing to someone. So we're using a lot of our core that runs along our spine. Okay, so if you're in the dragon boat team, you're hinging as you do that rotation, right? So this is a very important move. So as we hinge, if you find that you don't have enough core strength and we fall forward, then you're going to be someone that keeps their hands on the thighs. Okay, if that's not you, and you're probably a dragon boat lady, you're going to have either a dowel here, or you're going to take your weight, and I actually want you to weight it. Okay, so a light weight here, or a dowel pressed across your chest. Okay, so while we're here, if you can, I want everyone to think of feeling their feet on the floor. So if you have sensation in your feet, just feel what those feel like right now. And I want us to think of sending our chest forward towards our feet without increasing the pressure in our feet. So we're here, and then I want us to think of getting taller as we sit back up to neutral. Okay? If you don't have feeling in your feet, or you have shoes on and it makes it hard, just try your best, or you can just ignore that cue. If you have feeling in your feet, this is really going to help you activate some of your deeper core muscles. So we're here, hinging forward, keep the weight in the feet the same, bowing to someone across the room, keeping that dowel across your chest, control the sit, getting taller. Okay, so let's do a big full set of 10 together, regardless of what variation you're doing. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Hinging, nice long spine, keeping the pressure in the feet the same. Get taller as you come back to neutral. My shoulders are nice and retracted, bowing, and then squeeze to come up. Good. And again, bowing, nice big hinge, and coming up. And again, this is 4. And we're only hinging as far as we can, keeping that spine nice and long. So if you feel that you're rounding a little bit, we might have hinged forward a little bit too much. Over halfway. Keep pulling that dowel or weight into your chest. And this is 7. Good. Really working that back. Lots of these little core muscles help us with posture. 2 more. And 1 more here. And rest. Nice. Good. Okay. I saw a couple people do those. That looked awesome. So now we're going to do a row. If you have a thicker band than what you did for our external shoulder rotation, you might want to use it because these are bigger muscles. So we're going to hit the lats. If you only have one band, totally fine. If you can take a leg and extend it out in front of you, you're going to hook the band around one of your feet so that we have an anchor point. Okay. And then we're just going to be doing a row. The other way you could do this is if you want to hook it around a table leg or something, you can always do that too. Okay, let's do 15 to 20 rows. Here we go. 3, nice and tall, 2 and 1. So we're nice and tall. My elbows are staying pretty close to my body. If you have armrests, you might need to lift your armrests up for this one. I didn't say that before. And 5, I'm doing 15 to 20 just so that we all have time to set up and do this as we need to. So take your time, don't feel rushed. I want everybody to get good quality reps out. Okay, I'm about halfway at 10. I'll just do another 10. Keeping that neck nice and long. Think of that widening of the collarbone that applies here too. And 4, good. Sometimes it helps to look at something straight ahead of you and just give yourself a little visual target, something that you can keep your nose on to make sure that we're staying nice and tall and stable. Last one, I'm seeing some good posture happening. Very nice, Sydney and Mary. And go ahead and finish your reps and awesome. Okay, so once you're done that, we're gonna pick the pace up a little bit and we're gonna do some kayaks. So kayaking, I'm not on a very good example of what you should kayak on. So hopefully you have more room. I would bottom out on this couch, but you get the idea. We're gonna be driving down, rotate, driving down, rotate, driving down, okay? To make it more challenging, if you want, if you have no overhead pain, you're gonna go 1, 2, press. 1, 2, press. Okay. And I don't really care if you go there, up, back the way you came, or there, up, and then continue. I don't care. That's your gift today from me. Do whatever you want. We're not going to get picky about it. I just want us to be nice and quick. Boom, overhead. Boom, boom, overhead. If you don't want to do the overhead or that doesn't work for you, I want you to focus on that rotation, looking every time you rotate. We just warmed up our eyes. So let's look over your shoulder every time you do a rotation. Okay. I like to give cues while I'm moving for everybody. So I'm just going to set a timer so that I don't have to count. We're going to do 1 minute. Okay, here we go. 3, pick your decision of what you want to do, your choice. 2, 1, and go. I'll demonstrate with the overhead. Okay, get those eyes looking over your shoulder every time you rotate. Nice, everybody, keep moving. Try and get the pace a little quicker so that we're still able to control the movement, but you can feel yourself getting a little bit warm. Heart rate's coming up a little bit. You're already halfway. Nice, everybody. Really look over that shoulder. You don't need to do the press. If you don't want to, you can just keep kayaking. We have 10 seconds left, everybody. Well, I'm going to give you a water break. How rude. I haven't given any yet. Last one. And time. Good. Sorry, everybody. I haven't given a water break yet. All right. Now's your time. Grab a sip of water, tea, whatever you're drinking. Woo, let your heart rate come down a little bit. And then we're going to do those 3 again. So we have our hinging. We have our banded rows. And then we have our kayaks. There's a couple people in here that I don't know their level of function or if they're able to stand or whatnot. So if you are able to hinge with the weight, I'll just throw this out there. If you're able to do that hinge with the weight and keep the weight in the feet the same, and you want to do something a little bit more challenging, you can stand it up and you can do the same hinge standing. if you want. So I'll give that to anybody that wants it. Okay, so it's the exact same thing, same focus in the feet. We're just doing the standing variation. Okay, the other option would be to just keep doing the weight or the dowel and just really focus on the pressure in the feet if you can. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate with this time when we do it. Last time I did the dowel. So grab your dowel or use your hands, or you can use your weight, and we're going to do this for round 2. Here we go. Nice and tall in the chest. Look at someone across the room, feet pressure the same, and we're going to bow. So it's like you're reaching only as far as you can go without rounding in the spine, and then think of getting taller as we come back to neutral. And forward. And getting taller, nice. And hinge. Pulling whatever it is you're holding at your chest into your chest. That's going to help keep your T-spine long. It's actually going to be in your favor to do that. Nice. This is halfway here. Okay. And almost there, coming forward. Don't worry about going too far. Just stay within your hinging range to where you can maintain that neutral spine. Okay, last 3 together as a group. Think of your shoulders, collarbone wide. You want to keep this gap between the ears and the shoulders nice and big. And again, I think I lost count. I'll do one more just to make sure. Rather overdo it than underdo it. If we're just doing 10, good. Awesome. Okay, grab your band. If you want, it doesn't matter, but I get OCD sometimes, so I'm going to switch my foot just so that I feel better about extending a leg, but it really doesn't matter. You can do the same foot. Okay, so nice and tall, or you can hook it around a banister or something. Okay, same thing here, that same theme. Get that collarbone nice and wide. Think of looking at something right across the room that's about nose height. Try and not let your nose leave that target, and we're going to row. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate with 20 reps. Pick your repetitions. I would prefer higher. So even if you can just do 15, that's a good number. If you want to go to the 20, awesome. Okay, I'm at about halfway. Last 5 for me. Count for yourself if you're not on my tempo or count. This is 17. Last 3 here. Feeling that shoulder blade squeeze. And 3 and release. Good. Awesome. Okay, let's get our dowel. So if you did the boom, boom overhead first round, try and hit that again. If you did the plain kayaks, try and hit that again. And pretend like you had to rotate a little more, looking over your shoulder. And you also have to add in maybe 1 or 2 in the minute. So you got to be a little quicker. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Boom. Looking over that shoulder. Every time you kayak, try and use the best of your rotation. Okay, also we want to think of the feet, so there shouldn't be any wiggle parties in your hips. So think of keeping the hips still. Otherwise, the feet pressure on the floor or on your foot plates will stay the same if you can help it. We're over halfway. Keep going, everybody, doing awesome. Last 10 seconds here. Make these your best ones. 3, 2, 1. Finish out this rep and time. Awesome. Very nice. Okay. Get some water. We are going to do all of this one more time. Okay. So get your dowel or your weight or whatever it is you want to use for your hinge. I think I can face forward now. I think everybody understands this exercise. All right, here we go. Last time. I'll just demonstrate with the hands down this time. The other option too, I didn't say, if you don't have a dowel or anything, you can always do this. That's another option too. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to hinge forward, bowing, feeling the weight in the feet stay the same. And then I want you to think of getting taller as you come back to neutral. Bowing. You might feel like, because it's our third set, you might be able to get a little bit more hinge out without rounding in the back. If you have that happening, take it. That's awesome. The opposite might happen. You might feel like you're getting really tired and the hinging is getting a bit challenging to go that far, then just cut your hinge down a bit. I'd rather us focus on really good form than pushing the form and losing it just to get a rep out. That's not worth it. We want to retrain and reprogram the brain and map it in a way that is only reinforcing a good movement pattern. Okay, so the more you can end on really good positive reps, the better for that neuroplasticity to take place. Okay, we're over halfway here. This is a really good one to practice every day, every other day. Good way to warm up your core. Nice, good movement. It can translate into real life if we're going to bend down and pick something up, or we're hinging forward to do a transfer, anything like that. And last one here. And rest. Awesome. Okay, grab your band. Last time with the rowing. Okay, sitting up nice and tall. 3, 2, 1, and look at that focus right ahead of you. Something that isn't going to move. Think of squeezing that shoulder blade or these shoulder blades right at the middle of your back. Collarbone nice and wide. Body doesn't move. So the only real thing that's moving here is our arms and that shoulder blade squeeze. We're not doing any hinging or leaning back too much. We're just staying nice and tall. Okay, we're halfway to 20 here. Think of the elbows going down and back behind you so we can keep that neck nice and long. Last to 4. And 4 and release. Good. Okay. We are done with our band, so you can throw it across the room or just get rid of it. All right. Last time with these kayaks, I want to challenge everybody on this last round. If your first off, if your shoulders are getting tired of doing the overhead, you can just take it out. Keep working on that rotation, looking over your shoulder. If you're somebody that is doing the overhead, I challenge you to not look up with the dowel. That is what our body wants to do. Our eyes think, oh, if I look up, I'll get my hands higher, but actually it does the opposite. If you look slightly down, you're going to have a lot better chance of getting your hands up than if we do this. And you can even test it for yourself. You can look down slightly. You'll feel a nice range, and now look up and try and get your shoulders up or your arms up. It's not going to feel as good. So the opposite. So when we look slightly down, it encourages shoulder flexion. So when we go 1, 2, I want you to look right at the screen here and not up here. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Boom, boom, boom. You're either kayaking only, or you're doing your overhead press, ending with eyes on the screen or something in front of you. Not at the ceiling, not at the dowel. You'll thank me later, your neck will. Nice, better, Mary and Sydney. Looks good. Halfway. Nice, keep that breath going. I know I gave you lots to focus on in this one. If we get tired, just pick one thing to focus on. 10 seconds, we're almost there, everybody. 5, 4, 3, this is 2, 1, and time. Woo, woo. Good job. All right, get a sip of water. We're done with the timing intervals. Done with the dowel as well. The only reason we would need a weight, you can keep your weight if you have one, you might use it, but go ahead and grab the other object that you were going to use, like a ball or a yoga block. Okay. And then we're going to start with the weight or the, whatever it is you're using, water bottle, just something you can grip that's less than 3 pounds. Okay. So we're going to start with some bicep, single arm bicep to a press. Okay. We also, you know what, actually, we're actually going to take the press out. Let's just do bicep curls here. I think that's enough pressing today. So we're going to learn how to isolate first part of our arm, because this is going to help us set up for the right angle. A lot of people say, what angle should I do my bicep curl at, right? How should we have the palms forward? Should we have them out here? So it really depends on how much range of motion we have in our lower arm, because we should be able to move from the elbow down, see that, without moving this part of the arm. But what happens is we end up moving the whole thing. So what we're going to do is find out how much range we actually have in this radial movement down here, stabilizing in the humeral head so that we can get a more stable bicep curl, maintaining a nice centration in the shoulder joint so that we don't hurt ourselves. Okay, so to do that, you're going to take your weight, hang it at your side. We're going to take the other hand and we're just going to put it right over our bicep. Okay, so what I want us to do, I hope people can see what's happening down at my hand here. I might stand up actually, just so everybody can see. Okay, so if I'm holding here, I'm going to try and rotate the weight open slowly without moving the skin that's under my hand. So you're going to move it only that lower hand. And there shouldn't be any movement under the hand or under the bicep here. So if I took my hand away and you could see, I shouldn't see the skin moving like that. If you can see my whole arm moving, it should be dead still. It's actually really hard to do. And it should only be the lower hand moving. So you don't even need to have a full grip. You can even just put, if you have bare skin or a light t-shirt, you can just put your hands here and you shouldn't feel any skin gliding under your hand. Okay, and if you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot feel it any difference. If you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Megan, you're going to try this later in the mirror, and you're going to go to a mirror, and I want you to watch the wrinkles in your shirt, and your visual system might help you better than feeling. Okay, so that's your homework. If you're not feeling this difference and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you're going to do this in the mirror later. Okay, otherwise go ahead and find that range. So we're going to try and open up the hand as much as we can this way with the thumb out without moving this part. So try a couple. And then once you feel like you have it, you're like, okay, that's about as far as I can go without moving. that is where we're going to do our bicep curl. Okay, and then you can start with your curl. Okay, so let's just keep going. And 4, and I'm just standing so that people can kind of see. So just stay seated nice and tall. Keep that angle the same. So your angle might look very different from mine, and that's okay. Your angle of your hand. Let's do 12. Keep the weight, the pressure of the weight in the hand the same. So try not let it get heavier in your hand. 2 more. And 12. Good. So for some of us, that might have felt very different than if we just picked a weight up and started curling, right? So let's try the other side. And don't be alarmed if the sides are different. They will be. Okay. So hand on the bicep, or you can grip or just fingers. Hang the arm. And now we're going to try and get movement without moving the skin under that hand. So no skin gliding. Okay, you're just trying to do a few here. So this is an exercise on its own. So just try and do a few and be really true. If it helps to shut your eyes, you can do that too. And just go off the feeling. Trying to get as much range, internal and external as you can without moving that upper arm. Once you've done a few of those and you feel confident, find that end range and external. So the thumb is out. That's as far as I can go. It's way less than my other side. And that's my curl. And we'll do 12. So be true to what the ability is of that side. They're not going to be the same. 6. 9. 10. 2 more. 11. And 12, and rest. Good. Awesome, everybody. Okay, let's set that aside. Shake that out. So homework for those of you that weren't able to feel, go ahead and grab a mirror later and see how that works out for you. Okay, grab your object, whatever it might be. We're going to do 2 variations depending on what's going on with our shoulders. A lot of times we're really tight on the internal. So if anyone's ever asked you to do a test like this and you're like totally not able to touch your hands, this is a good one for you. So you're going to take your object. You can hinge slightly if you need to, but you're going to essentially pass it behind your back and then bring it and pass it again. 2, that's it. Okay. If that doesn't feel good for you, you're going to hinge and pass if you can under your legs, if you have the room, and then come up, hinge under the legs, and then come up. Okay, so pick your poison. I'll demonstrate this one to start. We're going to keep going in the same direction, and then we'll switch directions after. Okay, so this is working more internal, and this is going to be a bit more of that overhead hinge we've just been practicing. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So no race, just count for yourself. We're going to do 10. Whoops. Slippery ball. Try and be good about your pass. Don't be sloppy like I just showed it. 5. Okay. If it's slow, say it's like, oh my gosh, I can hardly get like 1 or 2 out, then go for 5. Don't go for 10. Just do 5. Because this is actually a lot of work on those shoulders internally. Whew, okay. If you need the rest, take it. And then we're going to go the other way. So now you're starting the other way. Oops. This ball, in my defense, this ball is very slippery. 4. And take notice, is one side harder than the other? I didn't say it either, but if you're sitting like with a back close to you, like if it's a pretty good fitted wheelchair, you can pass something smaller as well. Or in the future, you can just put your feet on the floor and sit a bit away from the chair if you're able. Give you a bit more space. Good. Awesome. Okay, set that aside. We're just going to end with one last thing. We're going to do some jacks. There's someone entering in the last minute of class. I'll let them in. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna clap above our head, and then we're gonna clap the sides and hinge forward. Clap above our head, and then hinge. If you don't want to do the overhead, you're gonna clap here, and then I want to see a nice hinge. Here we go for 10. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Hinge. And boom. Try and be quick about it. Hinge. Boom. Hinge. You can be at your chest to clap too. I'm looking for a nice controlled hinge movement here. Last 3. 1. And 2. And 3. And shake it out. Good. Awesome. Give it a little shake. All right, just to cool down together, that is it for today. We'll just do 2 shoulder, both 2 as in both shoulders, nice big shoulder rolls. Pretend like you're holding those really heavy weights again. So you're just letting the shoulders roll. Nice big shoulder rolls back. We're only going to do back. And this is 6, 7, nice. This is 8, 9, and that's 10. Good. Awesome. And just shake it out. Good. Okay. Excellent job, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'll stay on for just a few minutes if anyone has any questions or concerns. Otherwise, Julie will be back next week. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was fun to be back and teach today. And this will be posted. So if you want to revisit this workout, feel free. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Shamika.
Megan,
Yeah.
do Sydney and I pay you the same amount we would if it was Julie?
Oh, no, this is a free class. It's free every Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Thank-
don't worry about it. Yeah, it's sponsored by Disability Foundation.
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so much.
it's every Thursday if you ever want to come. Julie teaches every Thursday.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you. And
thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming too, Sid. All right. Any other questions? No.
So Julie,
All right.
next week?
I think Julie's here next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Causer. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.